Right at low tide, 53 degrees, 7:44, October 16th. The barometer says 29.40. It's a pretty low barometer, don't you think, T-Rex? We've got low barometer cold outside. What that means is instability and a bit of a surface trough, creating surface convergence, creating instability showers, creating a rainbow on the South Shore this morning. Thank you, Jay, for sharing your rainbow. Now, what are we going to do with you, escape artist, yesterday on Walkabout? I'm not going to take my eye off you today is what I'm not going to do. There is a system for Steve. Very interesting sky. That is precipitation coming out of the cloud right over there. That's Virga. The snow level or ice level is probably up about 4,500 5,000 feet or so, and it's just about as cold in the sky over eastern Massachusetts as it is up on top of Mount Washington, where this morning is the 9th day in a row where it's snowing, and that counts as New England, so it's snowing in New England. Temperature's been pretty much in the upper 20s the whole time. We've picked up 2 inches of snow since a week ago yesterday. All right, Steve, come on over here. We've got a system for you. Come on, Steve. We take this thing, this garden tool, we put it in the ground, and we just put your rope over it. The problem is that Rex also has a line, so our lines get tangled. Anybody that knows anything about fishing and kiting knows all about tangled lines. But now Steve is not going any farther than that. Yesterday where we found him was way down there. It took so long, it was pretty scary. And of course, it was all my fault. I'm in the doghouse. No offense to you, T-Rex. Weather-wise, too. All right, so everyone's already talking about this next weekend forecast, but what about the next 24, 36 hours? Let's go to the high-resolution rapid refresh model, and you can really see the arc of precipitation coming down in bands around the backside of our old upper level low that does have Philippe DNA in it. And believe it or not, that little purple spot near your house in Gloucester, Peter, is 1.8 inches of H2O in the next 36 hours. I'll take the under on that. But what it's pointing out is the fact that it's a very unstable, low barometer atmosphere. And when it rains, it can rain really hard. And if it comes down hard enough and fast enough, it's going to be mixed with hail or grapple or sleet or whatever you want to call it. Frozen hydrometeors are possible. And even this evening, Queen is playing in Boston. I think I'm supposed to go. I'm going to be wearing a hat and a warm jacket. It's chilly outside. And without the passive solar heating, today is more of a gray day. Temperature in the house is right around 65 degrees. The heat may be coming on today, or we're going to have to put on more layers. I mean, I'm already wearing my winter layers. My fingers are already cold right now. So this Philippe has re-strengthened back to, well, it's a merger of the cross-country storm and Philippe have merged. And they're down to, 968 millibars. That's a low now south of Nova Scotia with a little appendage backing in here. There's that little low with the orange dashed line on our surface map. Go widen out and see the entire Atlantic Ocean. I think that's somewhat the remnant of Ophelia way out there off of Portugal. That's about a 980 storm. So we get the 980 storm in the eastern Atlantic with the blocking going on. We've got the 968 headed for Greenland. I'm not going to show that real big picture this time. It's just too confusing. And out in the Pacific Ocean, the remnant of Bolaven. Remember that? One of the second strongest storm of this whole hurricane season, Pacific or Atlantic, is now a post-tropical cyclone, and it's got 964 millibars. That's headed for southern Alaska. So that's the strongest storm between Asia and Europe this morning. And when that drives into Alaska, that's going to push warmer air into southeastern or southwestern Canada, and it's going to create this boundary, and there's going to be a lot of storms crossing the nation. So we have one coming on the coast right now that's going to kind of break into pieces, and if we move forward here, let's just watch what happens with our low departing. You get the gradual increase in high pressure here, cold mornings, frosty mornings here in New England next couple of mornings. I can't believe that the Wednesday is so clean now compared to 4 days ago. It had a little nor'easter near Nantucket. Anyhow, Wednesday looks okay. Thursday, now we have lows going into the Midwest, and watch the Gulf of Mexico and the Midwest at the same time. The Great Lakes low pressure system tends to fall apart, and then you have 1,000 millibar low over North Carolina Saturday night, and that deepens to 973 millibars over the Gulf of Maine Sunday. That is a drop of 27 millibars in 24 hours. That is criteria for bombogenesis. Bombogenesis being a storm that deepens 24 millibars in 24 hours. Now, the Euro often overdoes the low barometer storm, so it may not be that strong, but you see what we're talking about here. A lot of wind and rain potential. The track is still impossible. It's three systems coming together, so even though you have that low of a barometer, if three of them are disjointed and still coming together, you may have a lull in the pressure gradient over New England. So I'm not going to go off with storm force winds just yet. Probably the storm force winds likely stay over the sea as that thing goes by, but then wrap in and down from the northwest as it goes out. And that would be rain changing to snow in our mountains, or maybe just snow in the tops of the mountains because it's that cold. All right, Tom Domenico, is that how you say your name? Domenico? Sorry. Tom, one of my out the door viewers, says, Tim, try turning off the stereo function in your camera recording. Tom, I turned off my stereo function. I'm zooming out. Is the audio stay the same? I should probably move my fingers. All right, now I'm holding the camera just on all four corners. I'm not covering any microphones. How does it sound now compared to when we zoom back to single zoom? Might as well, while we're here, take a look at the Lynx ship is still here. It seems so out of character for Weymouth, but we love it. I think I'm invited on tomorrow, maybe going on the Lynx, so we might get deck shots of that, and I can look back at me to see if I'm looking back at you, and you know what I mean. Just killing time while I go look at my rain gauge. So overnight, cold showers did add up to 0.05. So we're getting some precipitation. Came on a Sunday night and a Monday. We'll take that anytime. Gradually putting the garden to bed. We've talked about that. One more time with this zoom out. Let's go to Winthrop. There's a boat, Hingham Ferry going into Boston. There's the tower in Winthrop. Looking good. Hopefully it's sounding good. And yesterday I was pretty bushwhacked from bushwhacking. Looking for Steve all day out in the forest. Turns out he was not in a very forested area, so that was okay. And so I'll leave you with post-retrieve Steve antics, playing with Rex out in the yard at sunset after another very depressing Patriots game. Actually, as the Patriots game was going on. All right, really interesting week. I think the next 36 hours are just about as interesting as what's going to happen over the weekend. We'll talk more about that as we get closer. Oh yeah, and Tammy, still forecast to become a hurricane, but staying way out there. So we may be done with the tropics. Look at that, the ferry, the plane, Winthrop. How's the surf out there, Dennis? 3 feet, 8 seconds with an offshore breeze? Yeah, a little surf riding maybe today. Or just fly across the Atlantic. Talk to you later. We regrouped. I got everyone tied up. Door was open for 2 seconds, and we have another escape artist. Pretty. You want to be an out the door now? You got it. I got to go get a leash for you, Mitto. Although Mitt doesn't go very far, very fast. Yeah, I spent a lot of time looking for you today down in there. And I found the things that T-Rex knocks over the cliff. And he's just sitting there waiting to play. He can actually pick it up sometimes. Does that hurt? He's got a lot of energy. Spent a lot of time looking for the cat. Not that much time with Rex today. Come on, you. Look at him. He's got it. He can palm the ball. Jimmy Garoppolo. Wrong team, right? Mitt. He's a good defense. We need T-Rex on defense. Where do you think you're going? You're grounded, bro. Stop. Stay. Good boy. She's a rockin'. What's that mean when there are no flags flying? Nobody home? New moon up there next to the sun. Can't see it. But it means really high and really low tides. Very rare can you walk on the outside of this jetty without getting your feet wet. The water running out of here. That's fresh water? Maybe. Slippery. Links in port, third night in a row. Brisk, very low tide, sun's going down, new moon, October 15th. Kind of fun going down below the normal low tide line. Seeing what you can see. Heavy duty. Tied down with battleship chains. No wake in there. Or there. Or there. And be careful where you're stepping here. Might get stuck. Just came down to gawk. Never been so excited for a touchdown before. Touchdown, Patriots!
That's all in sync right there. Boy, did he run that hard. He joined the Patriots with a lot of energy right from day one. And while he has not had a lot of production through the first 5 weeks of the season, he's providing his main staff in the place for the kick by Ryland to the uprights. He's moving.
Sounded a little tentative there.